Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I am Geneva Rose. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video. So I'm just going to get right into it. Today I am doing a little review and reflection of Moon Witch Spider King by Marlon James. So I read this book, I feel like in a really good time. I have finished it in about 2.5 weeks and it's over 600 pages. So for me, that's like magnifique. I read that really quickly, and just to go over like what I took from the book, the messages and the energy and the vibe, like Sogolan, I hope I'm pronouncing, I may mispronounce some of the people and places, but I'm doing my best. But Sogolan is just such a powerful, independent woman, and I felt so empowered from just reading her story. And even though she's gone through, like if you read the book, she goes through so much despair and so much tragedy that one person should not have to bear. But through it all, there's just this resilience and this energy of being triumphant, and even her like desire for revenge is almost inspiring in a way, because she talks about in the book how it becomes not about revenge, but it becomes like this desire. Like the revenge is really just the desire, the longing for something. And through it all, even though she faces so much like adversity, and it's really crazy because I feel like I read it so fast, but I also feel like it took me a lot of time to digest the story, because it's a hard read, I'm not gonna lie. Even though it's fascinating, for me what was hard to read is like I feel like things happen so quickly, and it goes from this story to this story to this to this to this, and you're just like whoa, your head is spinning trying to understand what's going on, because things just happen like my snap, thank you, things happen so fast that you're just like whoa, like how did this even happen? Like it feels like she finally got this piece of happiness. And I'm sorry if you haven't read the book, I'm sorry, because I'm gonna go into a little bit of a spoiler, but it's like as soon as she gets that little bit of happiness with Keem and her children, it's ripped away, and you're just like, oh my god, no, and it quickly goes into like we're in the future and things have happened and transpired and despair has happened, and like she finally got this little piece of happiness for 2 seconds. I feel like she literally had her kids, and even though time was going fast in the book, so it's like going over the period of years and stuff, it's still happening so fast in the sense of what you're reading. So like she's in this place of happiness finally after going through so much, because you're reading this story from when she's literally a kid and to her barely even knowing that she had any power, from that first time that someone tried to attack her and assault her, and then her becomes that force that protects her, which is really her protecting, it's her power, hello. But then it goes into the story over time of her just stepping more and more into her power. And it was so interesting reading it, because when I was first reading it, I was just like, oh my god, when is she going to step into her power? When is she going to step into her power? When is she going to use her magic? When is she going to use her powers? And then over, you're reading it so fast, and it's just like, whoa, she's really like in this, like she's really like fighting all these demons, like how many people she killed. And I just love how she also would just never kill women. She was like, I will if I have to, but my thing is protecting women, protecting children. And I think that also shows to what she had been through. She lost her lion, she lost Keem, she lost her children. So I think there was and she also lost a part of herself through the devastation and through the bad things that she went through, that I think a part of her protecting and wanting to fight and for all that stuff was part of her just like protecting herself and wanting other people to not go through the things that she went through. Which is why at the end, when it comes to the tracker and everything, she's like, I was gonna kill him, but I don't even need to kill him, because I see him going through the same despair and agony that I went through, so there's nothing worse that I could do to him. To live a life in agony is worse. And she even says it, she's like, death would be mercy at this point, because it would be him being able to escape his emotions. And really what she wants for those people that she's killing and that she's going after, she wants them to feel that bit of pain, that bit of revenge that she needs to keep her going. Because I mean, you see her towards the end of the book, she's living 177 years, so like you outlive everyone. She outlived her children, she outlived her husband, she outlived her her friends. She didn't really have friends, but anyone she was connected to, she outlived her great grandchildren. I mean, she outlived everyone. As much as it is such a beautiful story of independence. And that's one of the things that I took from this the most, because it is sad. You know, you don't really get a happy ending. And I kept waiting for a happy ending. You know, when I was getting to those last pages, I'm like, Keem's not coming back. Keem's not coming back. You know, I was just hoping something was going to happen and she was going to be able to enter into this other world and she was going to be able to reunite with Keem, which you kind of see on the last couple pages. She's kind of in a dream, or she's awake and she's talking to this lion, and you get this sense that maybe this is Keem, or maybe something good is happening. She has found a little bit of joy again. But what kept me going, even though I wanted that happy ending, her ability to fight for basically herself, because from the beginning of the story, you see how she's just totally taken advantage of and disregarded and disrespected and belittled. And you can see, you can feel, I mean, you're not really seeing, you're reading, but you can like feel that power within her, that she's just someone, and you can see how she starts to really see it within herself when she also comes in contact with Keem, who's like, you're special, you're powerful, you're not like these other people. And you know, she finally starts to see it for herself. So even though it's not a happy ending per se, it's a journey of being triumphant, of being independent, of being a powerful woman, and not apologizing for that and saying, you know what, I'm here, I'm taking up space just as I am. And you see the happy ending for me, to say, I guess if there was one, was when she was in contact with all those women and they were talking about how she was the moon witch and how many women helped her. And I feel like that was something that she always needed, because she never really got the connection and security and comfort that came from connection to her womanhood and to other women, like kind of uplifting her. And in that moment, you see how she's appreciated by other women and how she's loved and how much of an impact she's made. So even though she had to, you know, leave her body, she still had her spirit and she had to transfer over to another body. For me, that was the happy ending, because she was able to be appreciated in a way that I think she wanted the entire story, but she just couldn't see. She talks about how she doesn't have any friends, you know, and I think her being appreciated by those women was the happy ending per se. But overall, you know, there were some elements of the story that were a little, you know, a couple things that happen around, like, I don't want to go too much into that, but if you read it and you're around page 300, you're going to know what I'm talking about. And that's when I had to emotionally detach and just be like, no, I want to finish the story. I want to not, you know, attach to what we may see as weird in our world, but remember that this is a book of fiction, a book of African mythology. This is not real life. So when I separated my emotions from that, I really was able to just continue reading the story and diving deep into just the fantasy world that it takes you into. And ultimately, I just feel like, and like now, like lately since reading this, I'm like so galant, like, you know, like tapping into that power of independence, of not being anyone else but who you want to be, regardless of who people want you to be or who they ask you to be. And I think that was the journey overall. I have not read the first book. What is the first? Black Leopard, Red Wolf. I'm not sure if I will, because from what I've read, it's kind of following the tracker's journey. And I did not like him in this book at all. And, you know, I'm not big on hearing the man's perspective when it comes to, after hearing such a empowering woman's story. I'm not really into that, but I am excited. I do want to maybe read it. It depends how I feel, but I'm excited for the next story in this trilogy, and I definitely want to read that, and I hope Sogalan will continue to be in that. But overall, this is an amazing story, an amazing read. I recommend it. It's gonna take you a minute. For me, I still feel like it took me a while, 2.5 weeks. 2.5 weeks to read 626 pages. I feel like, and I did not read every day, but I still feel like that took me a while. So I guess it depends on how fast or slow of a reader you are, but ultimately it's an amazing book, an amazing story, and it really has inspired me personally to get into reading African mythology. I hadn't really tapped into that genre of reading and books and everything, so I'm excited for that. And ultimately, this story really just empowered me to continue being a badass woman, to continue being independent, and continuing to not care what anyone perceives of me and thinks of me. This book just inspired me to be myself, and I hope it does the same for you. I hope you read it. Let me know if you do. Comment below. Let me know what you think. And it's just good to read. It's good to read. This book helped me remember how good it feels to read fiction. And yeah, I'm excited for what book is next. Let me know if you want me to keep doing these. This is my first book review, but I kind of want to keep doing them. You know, I'm getting into reading more again, and think I'm gonna keep doing it. So thank you so much for watching this video. Comment, like, and follow me on all social media. That will be in the description below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.